Today on Uncommonly Good MTG, we're playing an oldie but a goodie, Skitterbeam Reactor. And that's where we focus on Dragonspark Reactor, which gets counters on it every time you put into play an artifact. And cards like Skitterbeam, which put out 3 artifacts at a time, charging this thing up. Because, yeah, once it says for 4 mana, you can sacrifice it to deal damage equal to the number of charge counters to it, to target player, and also that much to one of their target creatures. So SuckIt players and creatures, you're taking damage. If this deck sounds interesting to you, stay tuned to find out more. Hello and welcome to Uncommonly Good MTG. I'm your host and former 1-900 psychic, Dr. Yukon SuckIt. Yes, thank you. Film before a live studio audience. Thank you so much. Yukon SuckIt. Word to your mama. So I'm broadcasting to you today from my secret underground headquarters, and I'm bringing to you a deck that was of my own creation and has been updated, that we have not played with in about a year, called Skitterbeam Reactor. I've shortened it to Skitter Reactor just because the more I put together decks, the tireder I play of typing in deck names. So Skitterbeam Reactor, that's the name we got going on here today. And we did a little bit of updating. We got some new cards in here, and it's going to be awesome. It was great before. It'll be great again. All right, so what we're going to do is we take a look at the cards in this deck real quick, talk a little bit how the deck should work, and then we'll go out and we will crush some hopes and dreams. All right, so the whole point of this deck is we're focused on Dragonspark Reactor. Now, the deal is this is a mono-red aggro deck, so we're going to do mono-red aggro stuff. But this is our second path to victory. What you do is you get it out, you get it out cheap, and every time you put another artifact out, you put a charge counter on it. And then for 4 mana, you can sacrifice the reactor to deal damage equal to the number of charge counters, target player, or and to one of their target creatures. So yeah, that's a lot of damage potentially. And we do a lot of artifacts. Reinforced Ronin. Ancestors Aid puts out a treasure token. This guy puts out a power stone. That's an artifact. This is 3 artifacts. In fact, I think we could probably tune this up a little bit more to have even more artifacts in there. But so what are we going to do? We're just going to get out a bunch of hasty dudes, because we got haste. That's not haste. There's a haste right there, right? Haste. And then we got Mechanized Warfare to do that additional point of damage from every source we got, as that also means that Kumano does 2 points of damage, and Lightning Bolt does up to 4, and Witchstalker Frenzy does 6. So yeah, provided we got one of these things out, and hopefully we get 2 of them out, we'll be there throwing down massive amounts of damage. And Mishra's Foundry can become a creature. They're all kind of on the lower side, but enough of them over time, and we got a winning hand. All right, so what are we going to do? We're just going to throw out dudes, attack, blow things out of the way with whatever we got as far as lightning strikes, Witchstalker's Frenzies, and I guess a little tricksiness with Ancestors Aid. Trying to charge up our Dragonspark Reactor, and then come in cutting guy's throat. That's what we're going to do. Before we do that, let's say our prayers and talk about what is best in life. Dear Black King Toxrel, who dwells within the dark chambers of my heart, please hear my prayers and grant your blessings as we attempt to crush our enemies, see them driven before us, and to hear the lamentation of the women. All right, we're playing against McPoopMouth. McPoopMouth. All right, I'm down with that. It's a good name. Keep. I wonder if we can keep that Horned Stoneseeker alive. That guy's good, except for when he gets killed and you lose your Power Stone out of the deal. No haste. Just sitting there being all... I mean, he's got Menace, which isn't bad. Oh, we got a lot of guys going out this turn. Here's a guy. Here's another guy. All right, all in, baby cakes. And he draws 2 cards. Good for you. All right, so see, we'll have the 5 we need next turn to put out the Skitterbeam Battalion. Which is really just 2 more points than what we could do but normally with Reinforced Ronin. All right, down to 1. Come on. I guess, I mean, worst case scenario, Kumano faces Kakkazan's won the game. Hopefully he won't gain more life. That's more life, unfortunately. He's got 2 mana. I'm expecting to see a potty pants in the near future. He's up to 5. He's out of mana. He can put 1 mana down, potentially. But what are you going to do with 1 mana? I'm going to call it. Let it go, man. There we go. There we go. Victory! Alright, we're playing against MTG old guy. 3 mana. Only got 1 creature. Sometimes that's a problem for this deck. Race in there, Ronin. Do what you need to do. Technically, I don't need one of my lands. Gotta start loading up the battery there. You gonna try to kill my Reinforced Ronin? Is that the deal? Gotta give him the opportunity, apparently. I need 5 mana to put out the Skitterbeam Battalion. Got the 5, I just gotta hold on to it now. We're cool, we're just gonna take the hits. Alright, here it comes. Come on. You're going to have yourself an etching here pretty quick. Seems like he's kind of hot for mana at this moment. Alright, that would be 8. And Dragonspark can pop for 5 at this point. Okay, I can't do Witchstalker Frenzy because I don't have another card to throw. These guys are both going to die. Go ahead, just for 1. I still don't have a card to throw. Alright, I could just kill him with this other thing. I need 1 more mana for it. Just don't gain any life. It doesn't look like you're gonna. Alright, just pass the rock, yo. Your death is assured. I'm gonna call it. Should I call it at this point? There we go. Good game. I don't think he can pull it. He's only got 1 mana. He can do 8 points of damage, but that's not enough, man. I could just rush. I could bum rush him right now. I can't believe I'm doing this, though. And we win! Oh, Skitterbeam is so glorious. Victory! We're playing against Jake. And the Fat Man. Alright, keep. No creatures. Alright, we'll be playing our own. Unfortunately, they're taking those 2s. He doesn't have anything going on. Fine. Alright, let's put out the rabbit battery so you can suck up that extra popo. And let's put out a Reinforced Ronin. Alright, cool. I'd love to get out the Dragonspark Reactor, just that I don't want to pull back on what I'm doing. Oh, that was not what I intended to do. Wanted to put out the stupid reactor. That did not work out the way I intended. Stupid clicky fingers aren't paying attention like they should be. So I need 4 mana for the sacrifice the Dragonspark Reactor. I only got 3 at the moment. Alright, cool. Have a good time. Alright, it's down to 7. I got 6 right there. Of course, I need another mana to make that happen. I'll make him pay for the other guy. That's fine. Alright, you shoot me in the face. You only need to do 2 extra damage. That's the 2 right there. Womp womp. Defeat. Alright, playing against GoyoX. Keep. Hey there, Fox. What are you doing standing in that water? I would love to make my way to 3 mana. There's a lot of things that 3 mana would do for me. Specifically, Urabrask Forge and Mechanized Warfare. And did not get it. All right, well, let's just do this. You gonna shoot the rabbit battery? Reinforced Ronin, you giving him a shot? I was really kind of hoping you'd go for the throats up there, just because of how horrible they are against artifact creatures. And we need our 3rd mana. Badly. Alright, awesome. Now he's got to pull out 2 more mana from someplace. I feel like most of the times I just sit here and count mana. Mechanized Warfare! Doing things that Mono Black doesn't like done. Artifacts and enchantments. And we win! That shows you he did not have it, man. Victory! Alright, we were playing against Nero. Alright. Nero, huh? Keep. Roar. Yeah, let's put out the Foundry. Just in case we want to use it. Alright, so there is... We'll have 5 mana that I can play Skitterbeam with on the next turn. I'm going to block it. I'm going to block it. I'm going to block it. No, I'm not. Here we go. Skitterbeam! No attacks because of that dumb old Animpacal. I'm not prepared for it. Really, that's what you're going to do. All right, so you just think you pumped stuff up, huh? One, two. All right, man, you can block if you want. I don't care. All right, so he's got life gain out. And a guy. All right, so he's got 2 guys. I could kill either of them. Just take it in. See what happens. All right, first strike. Trample. Down to 5. All of his good guys are dead. That's a good guy. That's a 6th life. He's up to 8. 9. Wow, that's crazy, okay? I don't know why you would stay back to block, man. Cool. How much does this cost me? 2? Resolve. There we go. Potty pants. Victory. All right, here we are with the Skitter Reactor. Yeah, man, I haven't played this deck in a long time. It was nice to upgrade it a little bit and to be able to play it again because I love Skitterbeam, and I think it works great with the Dragonspark Reactor. Look at this card, the Dragonspark Reactor there. I mean, because yeah, it deals damage equal to the number of charge counters on it to target player and that much damage up to one creature. And we got plenty of artifacts coming into play. I toned this thing down. I had too many non-artifacts in this deck initially, and that wasn't working out terribly well. I think this deck might be able to be tuned a little bit more, maybe focusing more on getting Power Stones out, because those will definitely pump up the Dragonstone Reactor. But I have to go look at that again. This deck ended up working super good. And so I'm not too worried about it as is. It was good. I like the addition of Witchstalker Frenzy. The thing I was most surprised by is I thought it was the number of your creatures attacking reduced it. It turns out it's the number of their creatures attacking also reduces it on their turn. So that means that Witchstalker Frenzy becomes very cheap if they attack you with a lot of dudes. Basically with 3 or more. And so I was finding myself multiple times able to use that thing instant for 5 points of damage for 1 red mana. No problem. Witchstalker Frenzy is not being played enough. That's all I can say. All right. Yeah, this was a really, really good deck. Number 1, who is the MVP, the most valuable player? You know, the funny part is I think Mechanized Warfare almost wasn't needed in this deck. It was okay. It was pretty good, and it made it do an additional point of damage. I was kind of really looking for double damage. I know we could do that. I'm just not sure we could do it as cheap as what Mechanized Warfare does. But still, you know, Mechanized Warfare is pretty decent, and we got all these red sources. And it helps pump the things that are doing 3 points of damage up to 4 points of damage. And there's tons of times where they'd get their dudes' butts up to 4s. And I needed Mechanized Warfare to be able to bridge the gap to clear the board well enough. But who was the MVP? That's the real question here. Where did it all come together? I'm looking. Where did it all come together? I mean, the deck went crazy when Skitterbeam hit. I wish I had had the 9. It's too aggro of a deck to ever get to where you would have 9 mana. Urabrask Forge is fantastic. The Ronin comes out and is just applying so much pressure straight off the bat. Dragonspark Reactor. It's just this backup line of defense. But it's not this thing that keeps your deck moving. I'm going to say it's Witchstalker Frenzy. I just think that card provided us with the most control and for the best value. Rough. I mean, it's just the deck is good. It's just spread across itself. Nothing. I mean, otherwise you say Urabrask Forge, fantastic card. Mechanized Warfare, pumped everything up by that extra point, which does a lot of extra to it. Dragonspark Reactor, excellent, right? Still, I'm going to give it to Witchstalker Frenzy. There's just so much value in that card. And the fact that I could play it when people were attacking me was so incredibly good. All right, Witchstalker Frenzy, you are my MVP for this deck. Congratulations. All right, was this deck competitive? Yes. I originally thought it was going to be like maybe in the 80s. I ended up getting 75%, just 75%. That means 3 out of 4 games I won with this deck. It was just laying people out left and right. One time, like the only time I felt like I lost was just because I was playing mono red against mono red and they got first. And usually that's it. You're going to lose if you play second in a mono red on mono red match. And then I went up against Pirates and they managed to delay me somehow. Oh, that's right. They put out the flying die that turned my Urabrask Forge into a mana source. And that screwed me over for quite a long time. And I wasn't getting the creatures out. This deck can be kind of creature-less. Even though we've got Kumano, Rabbit Battery, Reinforced Ronin, Horned Stoneseeker, and Urabrask Forge, and Skitterbeams, all put out creatures, and Mishra's Forge. We got tons of creatures. I found a lot of times that I wouldn't have creatures. That's just a shuffler being a jerk. But still, despite that, 75% win rate. This is a very competitive deck. I'm going to give it a big old check bar in that category. Number 2, was it fun? Yeah, absolutely. The fact that we're playing mono red, love it. The fact that we're playing mono red artifacts, yep, big time loved it. The fact that Urabrask Forge, Skitterbeam, Mechanized Warfare in there, yeah, I'm good with that, baby. So, and then Dragonspark Reactor, I'm not usually a big fan of that card. Some people like it. I like having it in there. I like having multiples in. I like how the fact that if you're playing a lot of artifacts sort of builds up. And it's one of those things that you could just drop at the end, and what are they going to do about it, right? You're doing damage to both the opponent and one of their creatures. That's a lot of good value there. It takes a while to build up to that particular level. And, that's a mid-game kind of thing. But for this deck, that's the end of the game. And if it doesn't do what it needs to do, then you're in it. But you can take out a lot of stuff with the Dragonspark Reactor. If you're playing it right, you get up to maybe 5. You're taking out Shouldreds. You're just not taking out big dinosaurs. You can take out most dragons with it. So yeah, I'd say Dragonspark Reactor with this deck is very, very good. So was it fun though? Absolutely. It was very aggressive. And all of the stuff in here was, you're shooting a lot of stuff, putting out squirrely dudes all over the place. Yeah, they were all hasty. This is a number 1 A+ deck for me that way. Was this deck interesting? In the current meta, absolutely. You do not see mono red artifact decks being played like this, especially like hasty red artifacts. Yeah, that are just charging up that Dragonspark Reactor. I haven't seen a Dragonspark Reactor in a long time. It's Kamigawa, and Kamigawa should have rolled off by now, I believe. But because of the extension of standard to 3 years, we still got another, whatever it is, like 7 months on it, something like that. So yeah, look back at your Kamigawa. Kamigawa was a strong set. There is a lot of good stuff in it. Dragonspark Reactor was one of those good cards. And look at that, man. It's an uncommon. So yeah, it's easy to grab. If you got some extra uncommons, go get yourself a play set. Play with a bunch of artifacts, charge it up, and use it to the best of your ability. All right, so there you are. Let's charge this one up. Is this deck competitive? Absolutely. Is it fun? If you like mono red aggro, absolutely. And was this deck interesting? Yeah, it's a recipe of a deck that you're just not seeing right now. So congratulations, deck. That makes you A+. And as I'm required by federal law to say, this deck is so choice. I highly recommend you pick one up, should you have the means. All right, that's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. From all of us here in the secret underground headquarters of Uncommonly Good MTG, have a great day. See you next time, Space Cowboys. Later.